Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the fall, but spots are limited. Contact us today for football, soccer, field hockey, and volleyball by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
From Mitchell Athletic Complex on Long Island, it is the AA2 Catholic Football League Championship. The boys from Bay Ridge, they're in the house. From Xaverian, they are the number 2 seed. And for Holy Cross, they are the number 1 seed, looking for their first championship in 20 years. That is what's on the line this afternoon here at Mitchell Athletic Complex. It should be an incredible day of football, and we're so happy to bring it to you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Well, we welcome you live here inside the press box. Slightly warmer in here than it is outside, but super excited to bring this one for you. Dylan Butler alongside Pat Godfrey. Year 4 of covering the Catholic High School Football League Championship Saturday. It's an awesome afternoon, certainly. 2 big matchups, AA2 starting off things here, and then the AAA championship. But what a great day of football.
Without a doubt, Dylan. I look forward to this day all year long. And obviously, everyone's going to want to talk about that AAA matchup amongst a couple heavyweights later this afternoon. But first, we got to kick things off with this AA2 final. Really excited to see Xaverian back in the title game once again this year, looking to exercise some demons from a loss last year. And then on the flip side, Holy Cross back in this game with a chance to win a championship for the first time in 20 years.
When we look, and there you see the boys from Xaverian, when we look at the bracket, we could kind of see how these two teams got here, and there you see it. Holy Cross, both comfortably winning, but as you mentioned, Xaverian at the bottom of your screen, exercising those demons, losing to Mount last year in the championship game up at Fordham. The year before that, losing again to Mount. Now Holy Cross, in a way, they have a chance to exercise some demons. They lost to Xaverian last year in the semifinals in overtime. So the Knights have an opportunity to get back into the championship. First time in 20 years where they could potentially win a championship game. These two teams, interestingly, met in the regular season, right? And it was Holy Cross beating Xaverian. I don't know if I've ever had a situation like this, Pat, where both head coaches list that game as the turning point. The same game, turning point for both teams. For Xaverian, it was an opportunity for the Clippers to kind of circle the wagons a little bit, right? Like, let's figure out who are we this year? What are we doing? It was, as Kevin Fontaine said, their worst game of the year, and they've bounced back in a big way. And Holy Cross, they've not lost since that game. Also, it was a game where their quarterback, Madden Martinez, they figured out the quarterback situation. The sophomore started there, and they've been great since.
Yeah, so the last time these teams met in the regular season, it was an opportunity for Holy Cross to really right the ship and gain a ton of momentum. They haven't lost since, as you mentioned, and Madden Martinez, a sophomore quarterback, has taken control of that quarterback position, given some stability to that offense. On the flip side, after that loss, Kevin Fontaine said that his Xaverian team was kind of challenged. He said, hey, seniors, what do you want to make of this season? What do you want your legacy to be? And they have responded incredibly well, marching with a ton of momentum through this AA2 bracket, and now here the chance to redeem themselves and set the record straight.
for those Clippers last time they won a championship back in 2015. Then it was known as the A Championship. They beat Cardinal Spellman 31-12. If the Clippers are to win this afternoon and get back to the championship, here are two guys that they will rely on, and two guys who have been a big part of kind of a rebuild, right, at Xaverian. Owen Conti, by day, he's a surfer, but here this afternoon, he's a leader on both sides of the football. And Jaden Cadat, what a terrific baller he is as well. Another two-way standout for the Clippers.
Without a doubt, Conti, the stud senior, has been a great leader and captain for them all year, contributing on both sides of the ball. Also a great outside linebacker. And then on the flip side of the field, Jaden Cadat. Got to love his size for the senior from Brooklyn at 6'4", 240 pounds. He's an absolute stud at the tight end and defensive end spots, a basketball player as well, and also a top student. So a couple of well-rounded studs who are really going to have to lead the way as seniors if Xaverian wants to walk off the field as the AA2 champions.
Clippers 5-6 on the season this year, looking to, again, kind of right the wrongs, if you will, a little bit from last year. They didn't feel they played very well in last year's championship game to the Mount, so looking for a better performance today. Holy Cross, they are 6-5 on the year, and there you see their huddle before the start of this one, and two guys that the Knights hope will lead them to their first title in 20 years. Offensively and even defensively a little bit, we'll see Braden McMahon. They have less two-way guys, Holy Cross does, but Chris Brim, look at Chris Brim's eyes, man. That's the eyes of a linebacker. A heat-seeking missile with 103 tackles.
Yeah, Braden McMahon's been a real strong player all year long. Over 500 yards receiving for this Knights offense, so they're going to need him to get going early. And then on the flip side of the ball, Christopher Brim, absolute stud playing that middle linebacker spot. Over 100 tackles on this season so far, and they're really going to need him to step up in a big way to limit some of those big plays from the Xaverian offense.
Yeah, McMahon's got, he's the receiver. He's cool. He's chill. Brim is locked in, man. Don't come near Brim. You're going down onto the turf.
Brim's a big hitter and a 4.5 40 kind of guy, so that's a pretty special combo for the Knights defense.
The officials right now speaking with Xaverian on the opposite side of the field. Good look there at our white hat, our referee today, Ron Winchester, a veteran of this league. A chance now, Pat, for us to take a look at our keys to this game. And it's interesting with Kevin Fontaine, the Xaverian head coach, listed the keys, essentially what we need to do better from last time.
Yeah, no doubt. Last time around that these two teams met up, Xaverian had 3 turnovers, a couple of fumbles, as well as an interception, so they're going to need to clean that up. Going to have some better pass defense than we saw from them last time around. Madden Martinez really hitting his stride for Holy Cross, so that's going to be a big key for them, and then establish the run game if you're the Clippers. On the flip side of the ball, or flip side, for Holy Cross, you're going to need some great QB play. It's a big ask of just a sophomore quarterback to come in here on a huge stage and really perform well, so they're going to need some lights-out play from their signal caller. They're going to need to get stops on defense. This Clippers offense can really give you some trouble if you can't get off the field, so third down is going to be huge all day, and then execute on special teams. Once you get into a championship environment, it's so important to make sure that you're covering that third of the game. Could be a real difference maker out here at Mitchell Athletic Complex.
Captain's meeting at midfield. Opening kickoff moments away. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Every day opens a new door to learn, to grow, to connect with special people. People who, in big ways and small, improve your life. Every moment, another chance to achieve a goal, to buy a home, grow a business, start a family, and build lifelong relationships. Bank with trust. Bank with experts. Bank Maspeth.
What's next for you? A bolder, more engaged you. A career-focused you. A you that leads your community and helps change the world. Take the next step and get your bachelor's degree at Malloy with special transfer programs and scholarships and a career-focused curriculum. Malloy makes a nationally ranked private university education attainable and your dream job possible. Malloy University. Welcome to the new you.
At St. Francis Heart Center, we're not just regional heart experts. We share our greater success with the world. We don't just pioneer technology. We do it more than anywhere on Greater Long Island. And we don't just win awards. We deliver greater outcomes for people like you. As New York's only specialty designated cardiac center, we're not satisfied with just being good. This is Long Island. This is St. Francis Heart Center. And greater lives here.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Every day opens a new door to learn, to grow, to connect with special people. People who in big ways and small improve your life. Every moment, another chance to achieve a goal, to buy a home, grow a business, start a family, and build lifelong relationships. Bank with trust. Bank with experts. Bank Maspeth.
Welcome back to Mitchell Athletic Complex here on Long Island. We want to thank our sponsors for today's game, of course, Maspeth Federal Savings. And a huge thanks as well for their sponsorship all year long, the great folks at Catholic Health as well. Good look there at Tim Smith, the head coach of Holy Cross. Longtime part of this staff. His 10th season as the head coach out of Tilden, 1982, spent a long time as Tom Pugh's defensive coordinator. Pugh, of course, 42 years at the helm as a head coach before Tim took over the job.
Yeah, Coach Smith, real excited to be back here. He's been with the program since 1997, back when I was in diapers, and he's really excited for the opportunity to bring these guys back to the winning ways he feels that Holy Cross should have.
It's a good look there at Smith, and on the opposite sideline, we saw a moment ago, that was Mike Camardis, and then Kevin Fontaine, his third year at Xaverian, 1984 graduate of Nazareth High School, another guy who's been a longtime fixture, was an assistant coach under Dino Mangieri at Poly Prep, took the head coaching job over at Poly Prep, joked that his coaching staff could be nicknamed Brooklyn's finest, right? There are some former ballers and certainly guys who have long time been coaches. Mike Camardis, forever a coach at Canarsie.
Yeah, it's an all-star coaching staff for Xaverian. If you look at their sideline, also have the likes of Maurice Jones, who's a former Poly Prep assistant and OC. You got Leon Williams, who played at Canarsie, Miami, and then for the Washington football team for many years, Tom Leahy and Dom Aludo. So it doesn't get much better than that in terms of coaching talent in the Brooklyn borough, and they've got them all out here today ready to try and capture a AA2 title.
So Xaverian will be on offense to start, and there's a good look. You see number 5, Terrence Watson, the junior from Brooklyn. You see his numbers on the year for Watson, 1,300 yards, 20 total touchdowns, a true dual-threat guy after transferring back home from Hudson Catholic. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Handoff on first down. That's Tommy Martin pushing ahead. Gets about 4 yards on that first down carry. Let's meet the starters offensively for Xaverian. And the Xaverian starters are brought to you by Malloy University. Watson, Martin, Conti, Molin, and Hernandez. Cadot, there you see him. He'll play both ways. Cassio, Flood, Parada, Smith, and Regan. It's a veteran offensive line for these Clippers. 2nd and 4 for Xaverian. Another handoff on the draw, pushing forward and moving the chains. Xaverian here on their first series. Let's meet the starters defensively for Holy Cross. Also brought to you by Malloy University. Gonzalez, Sophia, Labadez, and Toppin up front. Sierra, Brim, Glowden in the linebackers. Santiago, Brassfield, Daly, Doyle, and Franco in your secondary. 1st and 10 for the Clippers. And better pursuit this time, Pat, from the Holy Cross defense.
Looks like Jonah Santiago, the senior cornerback, out on the edge making that play. I mean, really, really important for Holy Cross's defense to gang tackle all day long. The Xaverian O likes to get into a good rhythm. And if they can get three yards in a cloud of dust, they feel like that's a recipe for success all day long.
2nd and 7. Watson in shotgun. In motion was Conti. Takes the handoff, and he's taken down. A huge hit in the backfield. That's the way you bring it, Kyle Toppin.
Yeah, the 6'2", 220-pound senior makes his presence known early right here. What a huge tackle for loss. As Conti's just trying to get around the edge, 55 says, no way, Jose. And right there, going to put Xaverian's offense behind the chains in a 3rd and long scenario here early.
Yeah, Toppin, the senior from Brooklyn, 46 tackles. That is his 8th tackle for loss on the year. 3rd and 11. Watson airs it out, and that was incomplete.
Looked like he might have had his receiver right there. Unfortunately, just off the mark, going to Owen Conti, and that's going to bring out the punt unit for Xaverian.
And that'll be Thomas Regan. You love when a big O-lineman is your punter.
Yeah, you want to talk about a true athlete right there. Thomas Regan, standing about 6'3", about 260 pounds, the best boot for the Clippers.
And it will take a Holy Cross bounce inside the Xaverian 40-yard line. Wind definitely a factor this afternoon. The Holy Cross offense now coming on to the field. They're led there by a sophomore, Madden Martinez. It took a while to sort of establish who the guy will be, and Madden Martinez started early, struggled, but he came back in that Xaverian regular season game, and Holy Cross has rolled with him ever since.
Yeah, ever since they found some certainty at the quarterback position under Madden Martinez, has been a completely different offense for Holy Cross. And Madden Martinez coming out with some great field position with just 40 yards to go on this opening drive.
Martinez hands off. Conti in on the tackle. That was Antoine Williams, the thick junior from Hempstead. Let's meet the starters offensively for Holy Cross. And the Holy Cross starting offense brought to you by Malloy University. Joining Martinez and Williams, Billy Volk, McManus, Kaludis, Girola up front, Collado, Labadez, Aviado, Toppin, and Sophia. 2nd and 7 for Holy Cross from the Xaverian 37-yard line. Martinez fakes the pass, looks. That one's knocked down and intercepted.
What a play right there for Xaverian. Really impressive. This is just going to be a tip ball drill. Madden Martinez trying to make something happen. Winds up being a batted ball. And then it's going the other way for Xaverian. What a response right there as their defense was put in a tough spot. Bad punt, bad field position to start off, but able to get the turnover and send this one the other way.
1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. First down run, not much there. Looks like Sierra was in among the tacklers. Good-looking senior linebacker for Holy Cross. No gain on first down.
As we mentioned, Xaverian wants to get into a rhythm on offense. Not easy against his vaunted defensive line from Holy Cross.
Empty backfield for Watson. Time as well. Airs it out. It's a low pass, and it will be a completed one as well. That's Connor Molin on the reception, the senior from Brooklyn, a guy who just loves the game of football.
Yeah, Connor Molin really is a guy who has dreams of playing at the next level, and he does a really good job here just coming back to the football, sitting down just before the sticks and set up a nice, easy 2nd and 1. Maybe an opportunity for a shot here if you're Xaverian.
3rd and 1 for the Clippers. It's all good. Watson hands off. The push up front. Look at the push as well from the big boys up front. Colin Smith especially, we saw there, number 71 for Xaverian, making sure that they move those chains.
Yeah, Colin Smith is really one of the tone setters up front for Xaverian's offense at 225 pounds. He's a second-year starter and just gets a really nice push to get this one over the sticks and set up a new set of downs.
So 1st and 10 for the Clippers. Handoff, and look at this run down the far sideline, a first down and more. Brandon Solomon, the sophomore.
This is a really nice job here, just on a power scheme. They're going to have a pulling lineman out in front of him. And you'll see just gets around the edge there. Really nice run for Brandon Solomon.
You really feel like that interception that we saw before, right? That I think maybe took a lot of those nerves maybe out of these Clippers, right? They're moving the football a lot better this second drive than their first.
Yeah, just when they needed it most, Mac McDonald gets out there, number 6, with a huge interception, sending it the other way, and Xaverian's offense is capturing that momentum.
Watson, for the first time, tries to carry the football. No luck there. A loss of 2 yards.
Cameron Sophia, the big defensive tackle, in there on the stop. And this is a really nice job, just sticking with it on that read option right there, tackle for loss. And if you're Holy Cross's defense, the more that you can get Xaverian behind the sticks, force him into obvious passing scenarios, the better you're going to feel about your chances out here.
2nd and 11 for the Clippers. There's a handoff, good cut inside, and that's how you get back a whole bunch of those yards.
Yeah, what a job right here by the running back. Just a nice cut upfield, moving in the right direction.
Third and 3 for Xaverian. Interception! And there's a chance here for a long return for Holy Cross
Brandon
up the sideline.
Is he going to go all the way?
Conti catches him and he fumbles the football, but Holy Cross, it appears they've come away with it. Or have they? A lot of pointing on both sides. Ron Winchester, our white hat. We'll take a quick look.
Great interception here by Brandon Glauden, his 2nd on the year. Thought he might have taken it all the way back. As you can see him just read the eyes right there of Terrence Watson, step in front of it. And really great job in pursuit here by Owen Conti. He's going to chase him all the way down, force a fumble. And if it weren't for Christian Gonzalez staying with the play, chasing this one, then this is likely going the other way. Fortunately, if you're a Knights fan, big number 94 jumps on that and gives your offense the ball, 1st and goal.
That is Christian Gonzalez jumping on the football.
Wow, Dylan, early on we said this game was likely going to come down to turnovers and special teams. You've already seen that be a big impact. An interception on the previous drive for the Holy Cross offense. And then the Holy Cross D says, all right, don't worry, guys. We'll happily bail you out. Brandon Glauden with the huge play. and setting up prime field position for his offense.
And Brandon, right? Huge shoes to fill, right? His brother Isaiah, one of the leaders of this Holy Cross team last few years. So Brandon's like, hey, bro, I gotcha. We're keeping the family name here.
And even more impressive is Brandon Glauden, only a sophomore out here. You're going to see a lot of young guys here at Mitchell Athletic Complex making some big plays in a big moment.
Big moment here for Holy Cross. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Martinez under center. Billy Volk, 46. The fullback. Handoff. Cutting it inside was Antoine Williams. And Volk, a fullback. Tim Smith said we might be the last team in the league to go fullback tight end sets.
Yeah, got to love that old school football. But, the smash mouth mentality is really just a hallmark of this Holy Cross offense. Antoine Williams, one of the biggest running backs you'll see in the entire league at just under 220 pounds. And I would be shocked here if they look to the air on 2nd and goal. Just keep going, 2 yards in a cloud of dust kind of deal, and Antoine Williams will get you to the end zone.
Yeah, he got 1 yard on 1st down, 2nd and goal from the 4.
Not easy running into the teeth of this Xaverian D. Got 240, 225, 230, and 240 up front.
Martinez airs it out, knocked down, and intercepted again.
Dylan, I told you that turnovers were going to be a big factor. Had no idea we'd see 3 in this first quarter. Jaden Cadat with a great job here, stepping in front of it. The senior defensive lineman. And exactly what the doctor ordered. If you're a Clippers fan, it's a tip ball drill. Looked like Aiden Flood got his hands on it, and Cadat the beneficiary. What a huge play to bail your offense out after the interception.
So Xaverian bending but not breaking, and coming up with 2 huge turnovers defensively. But they start from their own 9-yard line. They'll hand the ball off. The push going forward, and you get a couple of those yards back.
It looked like brought down by Jordan Labadez, the 250-pound senior from Flushing for Holy Cross. That's going to set up a 2nd and 6, and once again on schedule for Xaverian's offense.
Five-yard gain on 1st down. Another handoff, and a first flag of the game comes flying in.
Both these coaches must be steaming on the sidelines. We've seen a few turnovers here early, and now penalties becoming a factor. Looks like a face mask on Holy Cross.
Yeah, so that should move the chains here, right? Even if it's just a 5-yard variety.
And, it sounds like a cliche, but especially as you get deep into the playoffs, into a championship game type environment, so important to limit those mistakes when you're playing against the creme de la creme, the AA2.
So 1st and 10 for Xaverian from their own 32-yard line. Handoff, that's Richie Aiken. It's interesting, he's wearing number 20. You can see the 25 on his helmet, as is an injured Holy Cross player down on the field. Aiken getting a lot of the early carries, the sophomore from Queens. 5'8", 150. He adds a different dimension, though, right, to their backfield.
Yeah, he's a guy who's got a little shake to him, some real quickness, and he's also, a basketball player. So a lot of these guys out here for Xaverian, multi-sport athletes, and you'll see it translate. They're just all-around football players. Richie Aiken definitely has the ability to blow the top off of a defense.
This is really the home to all of the biggest games here this afternoon. Between Mitchell Athletic Complex, of course, we'll have the AAA championship game coming up at 2 o'clock between Iona and St. Anthony's. And just across the street over at Hofstra, it's another big day of high school championship football in Nassau County. 4 o'clock. Listen, I know I'm making the trip across. the way. I'm heading across Hempstead Turnpike for the big one between Massapequa and Farmingdale.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun right there. Two absolute heavyweights in League One of Nassau County. And just going to see who's the tougher squad out there whenever these two programs get together. A lot of history, a lot of tough kids.
That should be great. 4 o'clock kickoff there at Stewart Stadium. Handoff. Look to be Aiken. Fumble the football. And where are we going with this? It'll stay with the Clippers.
So far, both offenses really playing a sloppy brand of football out here. Not what these coaches were looking for going into this one. Looks like Richie Aiken is going to get drilled up the middle. Really nice hit there.
Look at 75, Aiden Flood, among others, jumping on that football, this junior left guard. So a 3rd and 8 for Xaverian. Martin airs it out, bounced it in front of Conti. And now it's a 4th down. A windy afternoon here at Mitchell, which could, Pat, result in some tricky punting situations. Right now the wind is blowing in, and there you see the flag. That's in the face of Tommy Regan, the Xaverian punter.
Yeah, we saw previously Regan have a pretty rough first punt. It was only about 8 yards when it was all said and done, so a little bit better off this second time around.
And this takes a better Xaverian bounce as well. It'll be finally downed at the 34-yard line.
So once again, Holy Cross getting out here, looking to kind of right the ship. Been unable to get into a groove so far, but we're giving great field position on their 2 opening drives. Both those resulted in Madden Martinez interceptions. So I'm sure Coach Tim Smith on the sideline was talking to his sophomore signal caller, helping him get settled in, take a deep breath here, do what you've done all year. And if we limit the mistakes, you got a real opportunity.
What's best, too, about Martinez, Smith says, is he's that next play guy. Short-term memory, which you need as a younger quarterback. What a bruising carry on 1st down by Antoine Williams.
And Antoine Williams, the kind of guy who is going to wear out a defense throughout the course of a game. You know, right now, those 6-yard runs in the first quarter might turn into 8, 10, 20-yard runs by the time you get towards the end of this game. And they've been having to deal with 220 pounds of Smash Mouth football all afternoon.
And Williams isn't just a bruiser, right? Deceivingly quick feet as well. He's got to have a lot of fans here, right, from nearby Hempstead.
I'm sure.
Probably the closest home game, if you will, for Holy Cross this year for the Williams family. There he goes again, and this time met with some resistance by the Clippers.
Yeah, it was big Aiden Flood right there in the middle, the junior from Brooklyn, who's a really, really good football player, ultra-competitive kid, and right there able to get the stop to force 3rd down.
And what you love about Flood, he's that guy when he's on offense and the quarterback maybe gets a late hit on the sidelines. He's got the quarterback. He's sprinting up the field to protect his guy. First quarter in the books. It has been an interesting one. Scoreless here in the AA2 final. Presented by Maspeth Federal Savings on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Going. Israel Bonnie Kunda, running back for the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Every day opens a new door to grow, to build relationships. Every moment, a chance to do more. To buy a home, grow a business, start a family. Bank with experts. Bank Maspeth.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Back at Mitchell Athletic Complex. Dylan Butler, Pat Godfrey here, 3rd and 2, and that one got blown up for Holy Cross.
Yeah, it looks like the runner just kind of slipped out of the gates here. Little turf monster action.
And now maybe decision time here. Do you gamble a little bit if you're Tim Smith? Although now you, maybe not now. It's 4th and 6. I thought if at 4th and 2 you might. In fact, Holy Cross will talk it over here.
Yeah, Dylan, from my perspective, this is a clear punting scenario in your own territory. You've seen that your defense is playing really well. Xaverian having a tough time getting anything going on offense. So I think right now you play the field position game.
And listen, if that's a good person to be on a cold and windy afternoon at Mitchell Athletic Complex, you want to be the knight, right? You want to have some cover.
Yeah, whereas I feel terrible for that guy for early September games when it's 90 degrees outside. That's a perfect outfit for some late November football.
And he has an assistant as well. Or a few, it looks like. The knight, right, his sword being held.
And I have a feeling that knight's having a lot more fun than his head coach, Tim Smith, has had to endure some turnovers here early, a little bit more stress than they probably would have hoped for. But
all right, so here we
harm,
go.
No foul, 0-0 ball game. Wow,
a
big
punting
decision.
Situation.
And he's going to punt it. He's 7 yards back.
That is Antoine Williams. It's blocked. Loose ball picked up by Aiken. And now Aiken, can he get to the house? Touchdown, Xaverian.
So Holy Cross gambles by going with the short pooch punt. Normally a punter's got 15 yards in front of him to step up and execute their kick. But right here, you see the quarterback, or Williams, with just defenders up in his face. Right there, Aiken able to step up and a little scoop and score drill. We mentioned that turnovers and special teams were going to be the difference makers in this game. That's certainly held true here early on.
Tommy Martin gets the block, and then Aiken returns it to the house. Listen, you hear these coaches say it all the time, Pat, about special teams, and it's 1/3 of the game. It becomes a huge role, and there we see it there for Xaverian, as now Andrew Stasko comes on for the PAT. Tommy Martin goes from blocking a punt to the holder. And there you see the kick is up, and it is good. Hey, Stasko's the guy as we take a look again at that blocked punt.
Yeah, Williams just doesn't get enough air underneath that one. It's tough with only about 3 yards of distance between you and the offensive line. And
how about Tommy Martin there?
Really nice job on the block, opening that one up for the score.
So we can show that again. Martin not only gets the block punt, but then a huge block as well. Watch 24 right in the middle, right? Stay with 24.
Through, circles back.
He's not just celebrating. Now he's like, I got a block from my guy. Boom!
Head hunting right there. Nice clean block. Gets out in front of him. And, everyone's going to be paying attention to Aiken, who walks across into the end zone, but it really comes down to some great blocking right in front of him. Well done.
Yeah, 2-4 and 2-0 on the day. Big moment there for Xaverian as they get the first points on this one. Different kicker for kickoff. That's Evan Phillipson for Xaverian. Deep for Holy Cross. Antoine Williams and Braden McMahon. And you need the Peanuts holder here, like Lucy's got to hold the football. As we mentioned, a windy afternoon here. Although the good news for Xaverian, at least, it's wind at back. So if you can get it up in the jet stream a little bit, maybe you get a touchback here.
Only danger here is with Williams and McMahon set deep for the Knights. You got a lot of explosive potential. McMahon's a sub 4.5, 40 kind of guy, so he gets the ball in the open field.
And that's exactly what we thought could happen, right? As Phillipson puts it through the back of the end zone for the touchback. So, listen, nervy moments for both teams. And right now, Tim Smith relying on that next play up mentality out of his quarterback.
Yeah, we knew that Madden Martinez is a tough kid, has everything you'd want between the ears, but early on in this contest, really getting tested. Had a couple of turnovers. Obviously, that punt doesn't go your way, and now you find yourself in a 7-0 deficit. What can the sophomore do to kind of right the ship and respond here on this drive?
The sophomore has done a great job this year of lifting his teammates up. Hands off. Williams lowers his shoulder and gets the push from the big boys up front. Good first down run for Holy Cross. A look now at the Xaverian defense, which is brought to you by Malloy University. Cadott, Smith, Flood, and Regan up front. McDonald, Martin, Tomasetti, and Conti are your linebackers. Aiken and Solomon are your corners, and the fine Italian boy from Brooklyn, Finbar McGinnis, is your free safety.
He's got to be on the all-name team for
Finbar,
the Catholic High School Football League this year.
And in fact, I apologize to the McGinnis family from the Rockaways. Finbar McGinnis.
Dylan, I've been really impressed with the Xaverian defensive line so far. Cadott, Smith, Flood, and Regan really stout in the run game. Then obviously we saw the tipped ball into an interception for Jaden Cadott earlier. Those guys are stepping up in a big way.
And a timeout was called. Gives us a chance to look back at some of the previous champions here in Double A2. You had a bit of a rebranding, if you will, right? This used to be the A. We would go A, Double A, Triple A, Double A2. And these last two games we had for you here, right? So we saw Mount St. Michael go from losing here to Xavier, 29-22, and it was a terrific game. And Mount St. Michael last year beating Xaverian. What an afternoon that was for Mount St. Michael up in the Bronx. Before that, Holy Trinity St. John the Baptist as well, a win for Trinity on their way up to the AAA. You see those two 2019s? That's not a mistake. That was just before COVID, where there were 4 championships played that year. So Kennedy Catholic and Spelman, that was the A championship. More Catholic, their last title, beating St. Joe's C. And C, by the way, congratulations to the Vikings. Their first Catholic League championship last night, beating St. Peter's in a tight one at Monsignor Farrell, winning the AA1 championship.
Yeah, it must have been a great environment out of the Lions' Den last night. Congrats to those guys.
Martinez airs it out, and that is complete. So that's an important...
Looks like Brendan Garola, the senior, on the catch right there.
I was going to say, that was an important reception for Martinez, right? Because he's thrown a couple of picks. He's had a few balls knocked down at the line that was resulted in turnovers. So for Martinez to get it to Garola, a good-sized
tight end right there.
Tight end, yeah, from Glen Oaks, and you get to move the chains there.
Yeah, it's just about settling in, finding a little bit of a rhythm. It's been uncomfortable so far for the Knights offense in the early goings here, but the good news is only down 7-0 in pole position to come back and tie this one up.
McMahon was in motion, carry up the middle, short gain on first down. And that's a little bit of a change of pace there. 26 running the ball. That was Brandon Glowden.
Yeah, Glowden, the sophomore from Glendale, is a stud. Very tough kid out here, and you notice that theme. A lot of youth for Holy Cross being asked to step up in a championship game, and got to see if these guys will be able to settle in, get something going on the ground.
No gain on first down for Glowden.
Antoine Williams split out.
Martinez finds a receiver. That ball's fumbled and recovered, though, by the Knights. Williams made the reception. The ball hit the turf, and then Stratos Kalautis fell on it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a collective exhale from the Holy Cross sideline after seeing that one squirt out from Antoine Williams. Fortunate to be able to dive on top of that one, but just kind of underscores once again, Holy Cross really going to have to clean up some of these mistakes, self-inflicted wounds, if they hope to emerge here victorious against a really stout team in Xaverian.
And in our conversations with the head coaches, we spoke with Kevin Fontaine about this. Is there an edge for you guys maybe having just played, having so many guys play on the championship Saturday, and Holy Cross hasn't for a few years? He said, we certainly hope it will be. 3rd and 2 for the Knights. Hand off. Nothing doing. That blown up by big number 79, Thomas Regan.
Yeah, Thomas Regan does a great job blowing this play up. He's the first guy in there. And then a whole host of defenders for Xaverian going to fly to the ball to help clean that up. But another 4th down right here. Last time around, this exact same position on the field. Holy Cross elected to do a little pooch punt. They got blocked and taken back for a touchdown. Looks like this time around they're going to elect to go with the normal punt unit.
And the punter is Antoine Williams.
Fans at home, you'll notice Williams now lining up about 11 and a half, 12 yards behind the snapper. Previous time around, that was about 6 yards, which is why a little bit easier for that Xaverian block to play out.
And the Clippers, though, they want to talk things over just to kind of figure out what they're looking at here and maybe how they can affect this punt.
Yeah, once again, Holy Cross punting directly into the wind, which is never an easy scenario, but really important to flip the field.
Xaverian there on that far sideline. Fontaine said he's been really happy with last week's performance against Mount St. Michael, a team that's been a thorn in their side the last few years, got knocked out in the semis 2 years ago, the championship game. Said it was good to see our guys come out, play, and really be hungry for that win. Clippers bringing that hunger over now to championship Saturday as well, Pat.
Yeah, a lot of guys, who are playing big roles on this team when they made the championship last year and wound up losing them out. Those guys have been hungry all year long to redeem themselves, obviously exercise those demons against the Mountaineers last week, and find themselves back playing on championship Saturday with a chance to emerge victorious.
Williams got the punt off, but it went towards that Xaverian sideline, so no return for the Clippers. And they've got some great field position again to start this drive.
Yeah, Terrence Watson and company haven't been the most effective in the early goings in this game. Obviously, the only points on the board came from a special team score, but now set up in really good field position with a chance to kind of gain their groove back.
1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Here's Aiken, a shifty running back, and you can see exactly why he's described as such.
No doubt. He does a really good job of following his pulling guard, Colin Smith, who's just going to turn the defender in, open up that outside for Aiken, and a nice productive 4 to 5 yard gain on 1st down.
Aiken, 68 carries on the year, 524 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also a threat catching the football out of the backfield as well. 7 receptions on the year. So 3 yards on 1st down. Ball at the 50. Actually make it 4 yards.
No rush for either offense. Both are taking their time in between plays, want to get settled in, get the calls from the sideline.
An official's time out there just to set the football. If you're Matteo Parada, you want to get your mitts on that as soon as you can. It was blown away from him.
Matteo Parada, a guy after my own heart, takes a lot of pride playing center, one of the toughest positions in football. Does an admirable job for the Clippers.
This a draw, and that was read really well by Holy Cross. Brandon Solomon nowhere to go.
Yeah, Solomon as well as Kyle Toppin both in there. Had a great beat on the ball. You'll see big number 55, the 6'2", 220-pound senior from Brooklyn, come off the edge, and that one never had a chance, setting up a 3rd and about 7 for the Clippers offense.
And you wonder here on 3rd and 7 if maybe you get the call from the sideline. Indian brown sugar. Indian brown sugar. It's a unique call from the defense. Get to that in a moment as Watson drops back, goes sideline, incomplete. But I've covered a lot of Tim Smith back when he was the DC for Tom Pugh at Holy Cross, and That was a call. I mean, it's been like 20 years, but it's just, it stays in your mind, that Indian brown sugar call.
Yeah, it's a huge blitz call. You send a defensive lineman back into coverage, and we already saw an interception for Xaverian from a defensive lineman. Obviously, always a chance for that when Indian brown sugar is a call for Holy Cross on D.
McMahon deep for Holy Cross on this punt attempt. Thomas Regan is your punter. Sebastian Santangelo, the long snap, gets it off. A good one. Sends McMahon backwards. Whoa, look out. Caught it with one hand at the 9, and he's pushed backwards.
Yeah, it's a dangerous one right there for Braden McMahon. Probably should have let that one bounce, but got to go hats off to Thomas Regan, the right tackle, with a booming kick this time around with the wind at his back. And great execution for that punt unit for Xaverian.
For years, Holy Cross, they were in the AAA. They were one of the big boys in this league, and they battled some of those top teams. Made the semifinals a few times, lost at St. Anthony's. I remember being there that day. That was right when Richie Riker really had it going. A true dynasty, right, for St. Anthony's. And but Holy Cross, they were like a Final Four team. Seems like not too long ago, but you know, it was a few years ago, and that's exactly what Tim Smith is trying to get back for Holy Cross.
If you look at the history of this program, probably more NFL guys than any other school in the New York Catholic High School Football League. I mean, just, you know, guys like Dean Marlowe jump into your mind, Devin Kajus, absolute tradition and history out there in Queens, and looking to get that tradition back on the right path here today.
Yeah, later on in the broadcast, we'll show you a pretty cool graphic we put together of some of the all-time greats for both of these programs. But you're right. You know, these are guys, and, you know, it was every Sunday afternoon at Bayside High School. And it was a unique situation for Holy Cross, too, because they were one of the few teams. Chaminade does it more recently to play on Sundays. But that was the day when most of the league didn't play. So you had... It was like Monday Night Football, if you will, right, for Holy Cross. So they had all eyes on them on those home games at Bayside High School. And both of these programs, if you're watching, if you're from the island, it's somewhat unique. You kind of, you're like, wait, how is this even possible? Neither have a true home field. 2nd and 8. Martinez from his own end zone airs it out, looking for McMahon. A tough pass into double coverage, and that one was incomplete.
Yeah, nice job in coverage right there by Richie Aiken, as well as another defender out there for Xaverian. And just a bit of a risky throw for Madden Martinez. I know you want to get something going through the air, but throwing it to double coverage is not going to be a recipe for success. Fortunate to avoid a third turnover right there.
And there you see it. McMahon reached out. Aiken, if he had turned around maybe a second earlier, probably would have gotten the interception. But yeah, Holy Cross, a team, really true nomads. They've played home games at Campus Magnet High School, at Bayside High School, at SUNY Maritime as well this year. Xaverian, a little bit closer to home. They play their home games at Aviator Sports Complex.
That's one thing kids from the suburbs can't truly understand about New York City football. Some of the challenges these guys go through, having to commute 30, 40 minutes at times to practice for home games. But obviously, been able to persevere if you're both of these programs and find yourself here on Mitchell Field for Championship Saturday.
And we mentioned a moment ago, right, about some of the greats for Holy Cross. Let's show you those guys. There you see them, huh? I mean, these guys all have made a huge impact on the next level.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Kajus obviously had a nice NFL career, great career at Stanford under David Shaw. Dean Marlowe just finished up a 9-year NFL career, which was fantastic. Kevin Ogletree, a great receiver who had a about 5-6 year career in the NFL.
Giants and the Cowboys,
absolutely. Dale Robinson, former Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year out at Arizona State. And Jordan Franklin had a great career up at New Haven, also had spent time in the NFL.
Jordan Franklin and his brother, Reggie Franklin, have the distinction, at least for Holy Cross. We haven't been able to kind of dig deep into the record books. Both guys, 2-time Defensive Players of the Year when it was a AAA division. How about that?
Yeah.
Both guys won it twice.
If you're Papa Franklin, you had to feel absolutely amazing seeing your family go dominate on the defensive side of the ball. They probably wish they had him back out here today as you're going up against this Clippers offense.
Martinez from his own end zone airs it out. Oh, a tough pass. It is caught. And then a flag was thrown.
Yeah, this is a really nice play by Jaden Solomon flying up and making the tackle on Brendan Garola, but looks like he went up too high. I wonder if they're going to get him.
I thought he got there too early. Let's take another look as the officials converge.
It's a scary pass right here from Madden Martinez. Floats a little bit longer than he would have liked it to, and yeah, I think you're 100% right, Dylan. He's there just a half second too early. I'd expect this to be a pass interference and a new set of downs for Holy Cross.
But we showed in that graphic, right, Kevin Ogletree, and I remember, and it's amazing that it's 20 years ago, but 20 years ago across the street at Hofstra, when Holy Cross won their last championship against Moore Catholic, it was Kevin Ogletree to lead them there. Went on and played at the University of Virginia and then in the league as well.
No doubt. That was a really good time in the history of Virginia's football program as well. Guys like Chris Long down there who wound up being the second overall pick, was a teammate of Kevin Ogletree. And yeah, as we've mentioned, a lot of talent has come out of Queens at Holy Cross High School.
Yeah, proud tradition of football at Holy Cross over the years. 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Here's Martinez. Look out under pressure. He is dropped.
What a play by Jaden Cadotte right there, who's absolutely balling out on Championship Saturday. The senior defensive end makes a play that most defensive ends aren't going to make in space. He might be 240 going up against a 180-pound man in the open field, but this time he says, Madden Martinez, you're not getting away. Able to trip him up at the last second.
And Cadotte is that true student athlete as well. Unbelievable student. 102 average, 35 out of 36 on the ACT, 1540 SAT, and somehow also is a starter in football and a starter on the basketball team as well.
Yeah, just an absolute stud on the field and off it. Kind of guy you'd expect to be seeing in the Ivy Leagues the next few years, and with a 1540 SAT. Even if he's not recruited, I think he might stand a good shot of going to a Harvard.
And there he goes again, Cadotte, getting the big mitts. He has really been disruptive from his defensive end position at 6'4". And Madden Martinez, he's 5'11". So the numbers don't add up if you're Holy Cross. And you can see there again, Cadotte getting his mitts on that one.
He's just absolutely a guy who you got to double team if you're dropping back to pass for Holy Cross. Do not want him up in your face. And now we look at it, it's a third and really long scenario, about 25 or so. You wonder what Tim Smith dials up here. If I were him, probably go conservative, something along the lines of a draw or a screenplay, as you can't feel too confident about asking Martinez to drive the ball 25 yards downfield for a new set of downs.
And also you want to at least move the ball a little bit high. Snap. Handoff to Williams. The Clippers, they'll call timeout here.
Yeah, so if you're Xaverian, 2:04 left on the clock. You've got Holy Cross pinned deep. Expect to have some really good field position for Terrence Watson and company getting back out there. And they'd love nothing more if you're Kevin Fontaine than to punch in another touchdown here before the half.
Pat, we showed you the former greats at Holy Cross. Let's meet some of those guys at Xaverian. And again, kind of dating myself as I watched at least the final 4 of these. But O'Day, of course, a guy, right? In the league, of course, another UVA guy.
O'Day Abushi, yeah, I think drafted by the New York Jets in 2009 or so. Had a really good career as an offensive lineman in the NFL. Najee Tyler, great quarterback, went out to Purdue. LaRae Smith out at Indiana. And then
Burner.
Absolute burner. And then Xavier Martin at Fordham and Sean Binks at CW Post, who's now on staff.
Yeah, that's his staff picture at Ohio State, at the Ohio State University. But I'll tell you, you had Martin and Smith part of your backfield at the time for Xaverian, and they were a AAA team at that time. A tough punt here. Williams, it's a low one as well. poison, say the guys from the Clippers. They will take this field position gladly.
Yeah, now looking at only 27 yards, try and punch something in before the half. Still have plenty of time, about a minute 56 on the clock, so look for Terrence Watson. Maybe play a little bit faster than they did, maybe a little more hurry up.
Yeah, I was going to say,
previous drives.
And Pat, I think the weather conditions, dictate this as well. That's why you called that timeout a moment ago. You want to attack this end zone if you're Xaverian as much as possible, because right now you have that stiff wind at your back.
Yeah, no doubt. Wind's probably blowing near 20 miles an hour right now, so becoming a factor in this game, obviously in the special team side of things. But if you're Terrence Watson, feel a lot more comfortable with putting the ball in the air.
And a reverse here. Really well executed. Has come in our way.
It's Antonio Hernandez, the senior from Brooklyn, who's a big speed threat out on the edge for them. He was injured earlier this year, but now he's healthy and really looking to make his presence felt in this AA2 final.
See the look again, the fake to Aiken. And there goes Hernandez through the back door. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line for the Clippers. Hand off. Oh, my goodness. Aiken meet 44. How about Mr.
Ramon Sierra? What a play. He's a 5'11", 185-pound senior and brings a wood like he's Ray Lewis right there.
2nd and 7 for the Clippers. Aiken, what a hole up the middle for Aiken. Pushes towards the end zone. Touchdown, Xaverian.
What a play right there by Richie Aiken. He's just going to follow Mateo Parada and Aiden Flood to open up a nice hole in the middle of that Holy Cross defense. And then Richie Aiken, a guy who's not necessarily known for his physicality, but after squeezing through the hole, able to lower his shoulder and get that extra couple of yards to put that one into the end zone. Huge play to go up by 2 scores for Xaverian into the half.
And now on, it's Andrew Stosko to attempt the PAT. His kick is up, and it is good. So Xaverian does exactly what they hope to do. Short field position, they get the touchdown, and the Clippers have a 14-0 lead. You're watching the AA2 championship game presented by Maspeth Federal Savings on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Back at Mitchell Athletic Complex, will that ball stay on the tee? That is a question. It hasn't yet. Evan Phillipson hoping it will. As Xaverian, a 14-0 lead. It does, and this one returned by Williams at his own 10-yard line. Cuts it up the middle. Williams, a good return, gets an extra push as well. 20-yard return for Holy Cross. And I think right now, Pat, if you are the Knights, again, stiff wind that you're facing, I think you get super conservative here. Let's just go into the halftime break, down by 2 scores. We'll have the wind at our back coming out, and that's when we want to really kind of cut away at this deficit.
As a coach, you'd love to get aggressive here, but just the way that your offense is played in this first half doesn't necessarily ingrain a lot of faith. You want to probably stay conservative, understand that, hey, we're down by 2 scores with an opportunity to come out, get the ball in the second half, and bring this thing into a one-score ball game.
Yeah, no turnovers right now if you are Holy Cross. That's the name of the game. You go to Williams, the sure-handed running back. He'll push forward for a couple.
Yeah, they're going to let this one tick down to 0 after this second down play. And, Definitely not the way that you wanted things to go in the first half of your Tim Smith and his coaching staff for Holy Cross. But the good news is your leader, Madden Martinez, a very short-term memory.
And also, it's only 2 scores.
Only 2 scores. A lot can happen. And as we've seen, turnovers can be a big factor. You get yourself a turnover in the second half, all of a sudden this can be a real tight ball game.
And there's Williams again on the carry. Nothing doing. Good tackle there by Tommy Martin, number 24, the linebacker. And what do we got? A flag on the play. False start on the offense. So this first half for Holy Cross could not end quicker.
Yeah, it could be more plagued by self-inflicted wounds here early on. Obviously, we saw the special teams miscue lead to a touchdown for Xaverian, a couple interceptions for Madden Martinez, as well as a couple of penalties here for Holy Cross. So it's been a really tough 2 quarters, but the good news about football is it's a 4-quarter game. Go back into the locker room at halftime, reset, and see if you can get something going out the gates in the 3rd quarter.
So Xaverian, it is their first half. Aiken, Cadott, and the boys, they've got a 14-0 lead. Holy Cross looking to bounce back after halftime. You're watching the CHSFL AA2 championship game. It's all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Every day opens a new door to learn, to grow, to connect with special people. People who in big ways and small improve your life. Every moment, another chance to achieve a goal, to buy a home, grow a business, start a family, and build lifelong relationships. Bank with trust. Bank with experts. Bank Maspeth.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
What's next for you? A bolder, more engaged you. A career-focused you. A you that leads your community and helps change the world. Take the next step and get your bachelor's degree at Malloy with special transfer programs and scholarships and a career-focused curriculum. Malloy makes a nationally ranked private university education attainable and your dream job possible. Malloy University. Welcome to the new you.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Twins up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs or call 516-403-2050.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Every day opens a new door to learn, to grow, to connect with special people. People who in big ways and small improve your life. Every moment, another chance to achieve a goal, to buy a home, grow a business, start a family, and build lifelong relationships. Bank with trust. Bank with experts. Bank Maspeth.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
Did you just have the best athletic year of your life, and now you want to show it off to college coaches? Well, let Varsity Media help you. Varsity Media's college recruiting videos show off your unique skills to help you land a spot on the team of your dream school. We'll provide music, spot shadow effects, and a link to send to your next coach. Contact us today for more information. Don't rely on word of mouth or cold emails. Let Varsity Media help you take your game to the next level.
What's next for you? A bolder, more engaged you. A career-focused you. A you that leads your community and helps change the world. Take the next step and get your bachelor's degree at Malloy. With special transfer programs and scholarships and a career-focused curriculum, Malloy makes a nationally ranked private university education attainable and your dream job possible. Malloy University. Welcome to the new you.
Hey sports fans, did you know Varsity Media live stream broadcasts get viewed by college coaches nationwide? Through our announcers' storytelling and insight on your athletes, we can help your players get an edge on college recruiting. Find out how by reaching out to Varsity Media today, 516-403-2050, or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any teams looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
Here comes the 1-0. Hit on the ground at first. Quinn's up with it. Feeds to Varela. It's a no-hitter! And Division's moving on. Nassau County AA champions.
As West barks out the signal. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sportscast coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, how about a bobblehead for your athlete? Bobbleheads are one of the most preferred personalized gift items today, and it's so easy to order. All you need is a photo of your athlete, a model number from our extensive collection of bobbleheads, and the sculpting process begins. 2 proofs are sent for your approval, and once it's approved, in a few weeks, your bobblehead is on the way. It's that simple. Order your bobblehead today by logging into varsitymediapass.com and click catalogs, or call 516-403-2050.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Did you know Varsity Media now offers action photography for all sporting events? Available for individuals or teams, we'll send dedicated photographers down to field level to capture your best moments. Our rates are affordable and our photos will leave you with lasting memories for a lifetime. Contact us today, mention this ad, and get $25 off your first order. Email ben@varsitymedia.net or call 516-403-2050.
Welcome back to Mitchell Athletic Complex. Here it's the Catholic AA2 championship game. It is halftime, and it's Xaverian with a 14-0 lead. Want to thank our sponsors. Malloy University offers more than 50 undergraduate degree programs and is home to one of the premier NCAA Division II athletic programs in the East Coast Conference. Malloy recently introduced sprint football to their athletic offerings, the full-contact varsity sport with the same rules as regular college football, except players must meet a weight limit of 178 pounds. Visit malloy.edu to learn more. And also thanks to Easy Auto Movers. Moving the chains can be hard, but moving your car, boat, or any large vehicle doesn't have to be. Whether you're a snowbird heading south for the winter or opening a new chapter, let the team at Easy Auto Movers simplify the moving process. Shipping nationwide. Call today for a free quote, 516-464-0382, or visit easyautomovers.com. And a programming reminder for you as well. Next up here from Mitchell Athletic Complex, it's the AAA championship game. Like this one, it is the top 2 seeds as well. It is St. Anthony's and Iona Prep opening kickoff of the AAA championship game presented by Maspeth Federal Savings at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Pat, that should be a tremendous game.
Yeah, Dylan, real excited for that one. Iona Prep undefeated against New York State teams this year, so St. Anthony's looking to buck that trend. And then Gary Merrill and company for the Friars looking to avenge a regular season loss to Iona Prep. Should be a great game, one I've been waiting for all year.
You see the Knights from Holy Cross, they made their way back onto this field significantly quicker than Xaverian did, right? They wanted to get back out there. No doubt hearing the words from Tim Smith. Not happy, certainly, with the way the first half went, but as you mentioned, going into the break, it is a sport of 2 halves and an opportunity to maybe better themselves in the second half and rally.
Yeah, I think it's no mistake that Holy Cross got back out there early. He was doing some jumping jacks, trying to get warm, because they're going to really have to come out the gates quickly in this second half, executing, firing on all cylinders, and eliminating some of those costly mistakes in the form of turnovers and penalties that wound up being the difference in this game in the first half.
And Tim Smith said there was a terrific buzz about championship week for Holy Cross. In the school, outside of the school, the alumni were excited as well.
Yeah, it just means so much for this school to get back to a championship game. As we mentioned, they spent a long time in the AAA division, now in AA2, but for them it's all about winning, and it would be a huge accomplishment for these kids to understand the rich tradition and level that Holy Cross is used to playing at if they're able to overcome this 14-0 deficit in the second half.
And we see the Holy Cross huddle. There's a look at it. What I love, too, what Tim Smith did was he kept the tradition alive, right? We asked him what his pregame message will be to the team, and he said, actually, that was back in Queens, right, before every game. And this started during Tom Pugh's 42 years at the helm. There's a chapel there at Holy Cross, and they go to the chapel, and kind of interwoven between the Bible verses is also messages, and not just about football, but about life and team and what is expected of you as a person, but also as a player.
Yeah, it's a wonderful tradition that Holy Cross has, and got to imagine being a Catholic school wearing green and gold, probably a lot of Notre Dame fans at Holy Cross. I saw earlier today the Notre Dame football team went to Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral in Manhattan, but got to love that tradition, always remembering what it's all about. We love to have some fun out here playing football, but got to always remember to thank the Lord and understand that we're learning things that are bigger than just football.
Yeah, Notre Dame playing up in the Bronx this afternoon, right?
Should be a great one at Yankee Stadium. An undefeated Army team looking to have their best season since pre-World War II.
But that's not the biggest game of the day. That's coming up here after this one.
Absolutely not.
That's Iona and St. Anthony's. Notre Dame Army is secondary. So remember early at the top of the show, it was Holy Cross winning that opening toss and deferring to the second half. So they'll get the ball coming out.
And that's big for them, obviously. Going to be really important for Madden Martinez to get off to a quick start here. A nice mix of Antoine Williams and Braden McMahon out on the edge. Should be a recipe for success, and they're going to want to get something done in this opening drive if they hope to come back here at Mitchell Field.
Unfortunately for Evan Phillips, in that ball off the tee again. So he will have a little help.
Looks like Marcus Perrotta, the cousin of Mateo, starting center for Xaverian, is going to be holding that one.
Williams deep for Holy Cross. It is a short kick fielded at about the 20-yard line. And a short return for the Knights. That was Brandon Guirola.
Got to imagine that Tim Smith challenged his sophomore quarterback at the half to get things turned around, some sloppy play, some stuff you don't necessarily love as a Holy Cross fan, but an opportunity here to get some quick completions and get back on track.
And I think we'll probably see, I think this first drive will dictate a lot of what we'll see from Holy Cross in the second half.
Without a doubt. They're still trying to kind of find their identity against a really tough defensive front for Xaverian.
And
that
still
front seven's
sorry, Pat, I was going to
special.
say, and still a stiff wind in their face as well. That's a completed pass. That's McMahon. Conti chases him down at the 30 and sends him backwards, but his forward progression will have him at the 32-yard line.
McMahon's got to be careful with that ball right there. You see a lot of air between the ball and his body. Get that tightened up. Last thing you'd want is a fumble as you're trying to claw back into this game for the Holy Cross Knights.
McMahon at 5'10" is deceivingly quick. He's a 4'5" kid, but those long strides, like you don't think that he's really moving as fast as he is. Got 4 yards on that first down. And now he's coming out slinging. There's McMahon on the other side.
And I love this play calling out the gates for Holy Cross. Just, quick, easy concepts for your sophomore signal caller, Madden Martinez. Give him some confidence, and starting off 2-2 is a really great sign for number 14.
And the secondary coming up big as well. First it was Conti with that great tackle, and this time it was Richie Aiken. So it's a 3rd and 4 now for the Knights.
Xaverian's D been really good on 3rd down today, giving no breathing room to this Holy Cross offense. Going to be big for them and their confidence if they're able to move the chains here.
3rd and 4 from the 34-yard line. Martinez back to pass, airs it out, nearly intercepted. As that one, it looked more likely that the secondary player for Xaverian had a better shot at the ball.
Yeah, this is a nice play for the Xaverian D, and another questionable decision by Martinez, throwing it into double coverage. And fortunate once again that one isn't going the other way. Sets up a punt for Antoine Williams.
And deep for Xaverian is Finbar McGinnis. And it's another one, too, that will take a fortunate bounce for Holy Cross, fielded at about the 47-yard line.
Dylan, yet again, that wind being a huge factor. Holy Cross going into the wind, really tough to get a clean punt off. And the beneficiary right there is going to be this Clipper offense being led by Terrence Watson. Seems like all day Xaverian has had great field position getting out there. We saw to finish off that first half, a really nice clean drive. The first time they really clicked all day was that touchdown drive that finished up with a Richie Aiken touchdown.
And you can even see the win there for the Knight and his pom-poms. I think he might have had enough. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line for Xaverian. Hand off, the boys in green come up big.
That's Jordan Labadez, the first one to get there. The 250-pound senior from Flushing. And that's exactly what Holy Cross needs right here. A big stop, regain some momentum. Fighting to stay in this one here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Labadez, two-way player. The guy's been playing football his entire life. Brother Jared, part of that 2013 team.
Wow, and what a play right there by Kyle Toppin. Coming out quick for this defensive line of Holy Cross. Toppin, 55 off the edge, just goes unblocked. And you'll see really great read here. He's just going to follow the pulling lineman in front of him right to the play. And that's as easy of TFL as Toppin's had all year.
The defensive coordinator for Holy Cross is Dion Moore, but at his core, Tim Smith.
And give you a shot to get back out there, make this one a little tighter.
And now a 3-and-out for Xaverian. Low snap, nearly blocked. An end-over-end punt, which will take a huge Xaverian bounce as well inside the 20-yard line.
See those guys waving at that ball, hoping to get an extra 6 inches of roll, but once again, Holy Cross going to start off with some suboptimal field position on offense.
Well, it's a game, right, Pat? You always say it, of momentum, and Holy Cross hoping that defensive stop maybe spurs on this offense now.
Offensively, they just had a tough time finding their groove. But Another opportunity out here. Your defense is playing really well, only giving up 7 points on the afternoon. As everyone will remember, 7 of those 14 for Xaverian came on a blocked punt.
So Knights 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. Martinez, little jet sweep action. The cut up the sideline, and it'll be a gain of about 4.
Really nice play by Aiden Flood chasing that one down. As you see that Holy Cross offensive line, not the biggest unit out there, but fighting like heck out front and looking to get something going for Antoine Williams.
Moving the football ain't easy. Moving your car with Easy Auto Movers. Visit easyautomovers.com for a free quote. 2nd and 6 from the 20-yard line. Martinez. Another completion, this to McMahon. And he'll get to about the 24-yard line, a gain of 4.
Feels like every time Braden McMahon touches the ball, he's just a step away from taking it for a big play. Really nice tackling there by Xaverian, but the more you're able to get the ball into space to number 10, it becomes an eventuality that he's going to break something big.
Billy Folk, the fullback, in. So we're going to go big here for Holy Cross to get those 2 yards to try to move the chains.
Gotta love some old school smash mouth football that Holy Cross prides itself in. It's going to be a big opportunity, really needing the conversion here.
Martinez back to pass. Finds his intended target in McMahon, who will move the chains.
The 4th catch of this second half for Braden McMahon, really getting into it. Came into this game with 39 receptions on the year, and if Madden Martinez can continue to build a rapport out there with number 10, things are definitely looking up for the Knights offense.
Now McMahon, the senior from Flushing, entered this game with 39 receptions for 534 yards and 3 touchdowns. Interestingly enough, he was one of those guys in the quarterback mix earlier this year. Had a good QB rating, right? 15 of 17 for 165 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, hard to beat that efficiency, but as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Madden Martinez stepped up the last time these two teams faced off in the regular season, and it's been smooth sailing since there.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Martinez rolls right, finds Williams out of the backfield, and Antoine Williams pushes towards that first down marker and will move the chains. Back-to-back first downs now for the Knights.
It's a nice recipe for success for Holy Cross, you know. Quick hitters in the passing game, nice easy throws for your sophomore quarterback, and get it out into the open space with a running back like Antoine Williams who can lower his shoulder and get a few extra yards.
And now some confidence for Holy Cross. It was a thing that Tim Smith pointed when he said the turning point of his season was the win against Xaverian. It was a team that didn't have a lot of confidence after some difficult losses. They had lost 3 in a row before taking on Xaverian at Campus Magnet that afternoon, as Martinez, again, will air it out. This one incomplete, but a flag is thrown on the play. And on that day, it was a big win for Holy Cross, and it has catapulted them down the stretch. They've won 4 games in a row now.
Yeah, talking to Tim Smith, he felt like that was the game that they really found their stride, learned their identity as a team. And then on the flip side for Xaverian, Coach Fontaine said that was one of their worst performances on the year, and really an opportunity for them to reset, find their identity, do some soul searching. And both teams obviously have taken that information and used it all the way on a run to the AA2 final.
I will actually correct you. It wasn't one of their worst. It was their worst. There was no sugarcoating it for Fontaine. And a meeting with the team, with the seniors, followed. Said, where are we going, boys? What's the direction you guys want to bring this ship? And that direction was here to Mitchell in the championship game. Off the holding penalty, 1st and 20. McMahon! And that is complete at the 50. Those two, man, Martinez and McMahon, they are humming right now.
Yeah, this pass right here is a thing of beauty. Nice little touch pass to the sideline, hitting McMahon in stride. And you go from a 1st and 20 scenario to just a 2nd and 5 off of that pass. much more manageable, exactly where you want to be for your offense.
Yeah, right to midfield for Holy Cross, who started this drive inside their own 20. 2nd and 4. Trips left for Martinez. Looks that way. Has a few different targets. And now you're getting all of your receivers going. But look at the pursuit defensively. Nowhere to go for Brandon Guerola.
Going to be interesting to see where the officials spot this ball right here. Looked like Guerola was right around the sticks, maybe just shy.
And he'll be 1 yard shy. And actually, they're going to bring out the chains on this.
From our vantage point, looks like they're about maybe a half yard short or so. And you got to expect this to be 4-down territory. Now that you're on the Xaverian side of the field, looking to claw back into this game. So 2 opportunities to gain a short distance for Holy Cross.
And the chain crew, first time onto the field in this one. And between Tony DeMasso and Ron Pierre, we'll get a great image here of the chain crew and how close they are. There you see it.
About 18 inches or so. This is a great time for Billy Volk to come in at the fullback position, right in front of Antoine Williams. And
I like your thinking there, because Volk, he is a fullback in every sense of the word, right? Dive, lead block on ISO, catch the ball to the backfield. That is Billy Volk to a T, and he is. There you see 46 right behind Martinez.
Don't see too much I formation in football in 2024, but gotta love it.
And Volk pushing Martinez forward for the first down.
That's got to be a confidence booster for this Holy Cross offensive line. They've had their hands full all day, but they're going to go right behind Dominic Aviato, as well as Kyle Toppin and Jordan Labadez.
And like I said, the push from behind as well by Volk.
No doubt. Now a legal move. As I mentioned, Notre Dame fans who might be watching the broadcast probably remember that Bush push from back in the day, but now a acceptable maneuver in high school football.
So 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. This, by far, Holy Cross's best drive of the game.
And it's just been like clockwork out there. You know, no big plays thus far, but just picking up chunks of yardage every single time and great efficiency through the air.
Martinez, this time on the ground.
That one was DOA from the start, and Martinez is going to have to step up into a host of Clipper defenders. Looks like Aiden Flood was the one to get there eventually for the sack. Also Thomas Regan in there. And just look at the beef up front for Xaverian. These are some really big boys, significantly larger than the offensive line for Holy Cross across from him. And the physicality is having a big impact on the game.
Yeah, you see Kadot there behind 99. So we're starting with him. Here's 6'4", 240. Colin Smith, 5'10", 225. Aiden Flood, 6', 230. Regan, 6'2", 240. High snap. Martinez to the sideline. That is incomplete. And a storyline we didn't really touch on yet. Dominic Aviato, the junior, he's in his first game starting at center. Lucas Russo is your regular center for Holy Cross, number 58, out with appendicitis. And that came right after the semifinal win.
That's a really, really tough change to have to undergo going into a title game. So you got to give a hats off to Aviato, doing one of the toughest jobs in football.
There's a good look there at the junior.
And thus far, his snaps really strong, on target, holding up well inside against Flood and Smith, which can be a really tough ask.
Xavier Goddard is your other option there for Holy Cross, but Aviato has been really solid. 3rd and 13. Great snap there. Martinez. It looked like a little miscommunication as Martinez was one of those, as Williams was in there with Guerola.
Yeah, I think Holy Cross would have loved to even pick up 7 or 8 yards right there and maybe open up the door for a 4th down conversion, but instead looking at 4th and 13, going to send that punt unit out. Antoine Williams out there once again, punting into the wind.
And deep is McGinnis. That is a 4th and 13. Williams goes side.
Another low punt that was fortunate to get off right there, but effective in flipping the field and pinning Xaverian deep in their own territory.
So the Clippers will start their next drive from their own 23-yard line. Long Island's Malloy University offers more than 50 undergraduate degree programs in its home to one of the premier NCAA Division II athletic programs in the East Coast Conference. Malloy recently introduced sprint football to their athletic offerings, a full-contact varsity sport with the same rules as regular college football, except players must meet a weight limit of 178 pounds. Visit malloy.edu to learn more. First and 10 from the 23-yard line for Xaverian.
Dylan, got to expect they're going to look to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible in this drive, eat some clock. Commanding position.
Oh, my goodness. Sierra again.
Sierra just brought the hit stick today.
If we could show that replay again, Sierra lined up right on the line, and he's like, I am coming at you guys.
And, you know, we always use the term lead in the pencil. Well, this is exactly what we're talking about. Sierra might not be the biggest guy on the field, but when he arrives, his force is felt. And right there, nothing for Richie Aiken to do but just absorb the contact from big number 44.
Sierra goes 100 miles an hour every play all day. No breaks for Sierra. Handoff, big run on 2nd down. You get back some of those yards now if you're a Xaverian.
Sierra with another big hit, but that time around looked like Aiken able to bounce off it.
So they'll put the ball down at the 29-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and 4 inside the final minute now of this third quarter. Trips right for the Clippers. Terrence Watson takes the handoff, takes it himself, and will push forward for maybe 2 yards.
Another nice play there by Kyle Toppin. You know, Dylan, we haven't seen a ton of running the ball out of Terrence Watson today. Usually a bigger factor in his game.
Interesting here, too, right? If you're Xaverian, what's most important, I think you need to get a punt off with the wind at your back than facing it. There is a flag on the play here, which maybe, considering the clock was winding, maybe a good thing there for Xaverian.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, the last thing you want to do is let this drain down to 0, come out in a flip field, and have to punt into the wind. Right now, with the wind at their back, gives them a greatly enhanced opportunity of pinning Holy Cross deep.
So Thomas Regan on to punt for Xaverian. You see Tommy Martin is your long snapper. McMahon deep for Holy Cross. The Knights would love a big special teams play like Xaverian had earlier. They're bringing the house. It was Sierra among them. A great punt. And that's got to be handled. Look at McGinnis bringing the pain on McMahon. McMahon was in trouble as soon as he couldn't field that cleanly. And then McGinnis made sure there was no return for McMahon.
Yeah, Finbar McGinnis is the leader in that secondary for Xaverian, and they're making his impact felt in special teams. Dangerous play right there by Braden McMahon on the initially muffed punt, and fortunate to just retain possession there for Holy Cross.
3 quarters in the books. This AA2 championship game, the Clippers with a 14-0 lead. You're watching it on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
This is Solomon Thomas with the New York Jets, and you're watching Varsity Media.
Every day opens a new door to learn, to grow, to connect with special people. People who in big ways and small improve your life. Every moment, another chance to achieve a goal, to buy a home, grow a business, start a family, and build lifelong relationships. Bank with trust. Bank with experts. Bank Maspeth.
First play of the fourth quarter, it was another reception for McMahon. This out to about the 30-yard line or 31, excuse me. I think Xaverian, Pat Godfrey, has done a great job recognizing where McMahon is and making sure you wrap up right away.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, he's a guy who can blow the top off of a defense with some truly elite speed out there on the edge, but they're gang tackling. They're keeping eyes on him at all times. And so far, number 10, even though he's been able to get it going in the second half, nothing downfield, which has to be encouraging for the Clippers D.
2nd and 3 from the 32-yard line for Holy Cross. Martinez, a quick out. Finds Williams, breaks the first tackle. McGinnis in on the second tackle, but this will move the chains for Holy Cross. And Pat, for the first time, it feels like in a very long time, Holy Cross has that wind at their back. It's the fourth quarter, so it's in a way ideal for the Knights. Like, yes, you don't want to be down by 2 touchdowns, but if there's a quarter to rally with the conditions your way, this is the one.
Exactly. It's a true opportunity here. But one thing I will say is you see Holy Cross go back to the huddle once again. They're going to have to increase the tempo out here. They're not an offense that's built to get big chunks in short periods of time. So they really want to make sure that they're reducing that time in between snaps with a two touchdown lead to come back from here in the fourth quarter, or deficit.
1st and 10, Martinez airs it out. There's McMahon again. Tries to cut it around the sideline. Forced out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. And there you see, Pat, from the American flag, which is in the opposite end zone, to the Knights back, how stiff that wind is here this afternoon.
Yeah, so far the wind has really been filling the sails of the Clippers. But if you're a Holy Cross Knight fan, got to hope that this fourth quarter, having the wind at your back, is the catalyst that your offense needs to really get something going. So far, Xaverian holding them to a shutout.
And you know that Joe Spagnuolo, the Iona coach, had some spies out here early to be like, which way is the wind? We're gonna defend this end zone if we win the toss. 2nd and 7. Here is Martinez over the middle, deflected off his intended target.
That's a really nice play by Joe Tomasetti, the junior linebacker for Xaverian out of Queens. His grandfather actually was Greg Landry, who formerly played quarterback for the Detroit Lions, recently passed away. So thoughts and prayers to the Landry family, but good to see Tomasetti get involved. He's an undersized guy, but definitely a good football player, and right there in great coverage on Antoine Williams.
He's got the pedigree, right? NFL in his blood. Landry, a terrific quarterback in his day for the Lions. Really played limited minutes, Tomasetti did in the semifinals because he was in Michigan for 3 days at the funeral. And that one incomplete.
Just off target for Antoine Williams. Once again, tightly covered. That time around it was Peter Nocera, junior out of Brooklyn.
And Nocera comes in on the nickel package.
It looks like another 4th down scenario. They're going to elect to punt knowing the wind's at their back and hope to flip the field. My question just becomes, about 10 minutes left in this game. At what point do you have to get really aggressive if you're Holy Cross?
Williams to punt.
Great time for a fake, so if you're Xaverian, got to buckle up for that.
Oh, and a bouncer. McGinnis lets fly inside his own 25-yard line. Inside the final 10 minutes here of the fourth quarter, you're watching the AA2 championship game in the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
At Catholic Health, when we see our island, we see a region that lives, feels, and pulses with energy. But before it all, we see you, because it's your lives that breathe life into this island. At Catholic Health, we're able to provide the highest quality, most innovative care for your body, because our culture cherishes your humanity. Long live Long Island.
And back here at Mitchell Athletic Complex, Dylan Butler, Pat Godfrey, our entire Varsity Media crew. Xaverian back on offense, and if the Clippers have a long drive in them, this is the time to do so. That is for sure.
Yeah, in a position to put this one on ice and win this AA2 championship game. It's going to be led by them big boys up front, Licata, Labadez, Aviato, Toppin. Apologies.
That's who would lead the Holy Cross, certainly defensively. As a timeout called by Xaverian. We were mentioning the offensive line for the Clippers. There you see a few of those big boys. And listen, taking the car to college next semester, let Easy Auto Movers help you. With nationwide shipping, visit easyautomovers.com for a free quote today. Maybe a few of those guys.
Yeah, you see the big boys up front for Xaverian. Cascio sitting at 230, Flood 230, Parada 230, Smith at 225, and Regan at 240. Just bringing the pain up front. Doing a really good job clearing some holes for Richie Aiken and company. And got to give an extra shout out to Mateo Parada, who's just done such an admirable job playing center all year long for the Clippers. He's a 2-year starter, and it would mean a lot to him to be able to capture this championship after falling short last year to Mount St. Michael.
So out of the timeout, 2nd and 9 for the Clippers from their own 25-yard line. Watson, hands off. There's Aiken. Was that Sierra again?
Sierra's got a real nose for the ball, doing a great job out there for Holy Cross.
And it was 44. Tim Smith said, you guys are going to be calling number 44's name a couple times on this broadcast.
Every time he comes, it's just with authority. You got to love seeing a guy who doesn't shy away from contact, but rather embraces it every single play.
And I think it was 44 Sierra, a little bit shaken up on that play, so he'll be helped off the field. As players from both teams.
Really hope Sierra's all right. He's having himself an incredible championship game. This is his last game in a Holy Cross uniform as a senior.
Man, the wind, that's how much the wind is blowing.
Knocked the hat right off of our official. Been a huge factor all day here, and now Xaverian going into the wind.
3rd and 4 for the Clippers from their own 30-yard line. Terrence Watson, the junior QB. That's Hernandez in motion. Handoff to Aiken. Cuts it this way. Brim, 36 on the tackle. His 104th of the year.
Yeah, really nice play by Brim. Haven't called his name as much as expected. He's been an incredibly productive guy all year.
Well, I think Xaverian, we're going to run away from 36. Go where he's not. And the Clippers not looking to give any momentum to the Knights. They'll punt here. It's Regan to punt. Martin, the holder. And deep is McMahon.
All of a sudden, an opportunity here for Holy Cross. You're forcing Xaverian to punt into the wind, which we've seen has been a nuisance all day. Let's see if number 10, McMahon, is able to put that speed on display, get something going here for his offense.
That looked like it took a deflection at the line, and it will be down by McGinnis at the 50-yard line. So a good chance here for Holy Cross, a team that is playing with some heavy hearts. And there you see Chris Brim, number 36. Well, his dad, John Whalen, unfortunately this summer died from pancreatic cancer. A guy who was really involved with the football program, and Antoine Williams as well, number 22. His father, Antoine Williams Sr., also died earlier this year. So on those helmets, you see the two stickers there. They both have the initials of the players, and we'll get to the Xaverian guys in a moment as well.
Yeah, our whole team at Varsity Media sends prayers and condolences for both those families. And you feel like both these teams out here playing with heavy hearts today, inspired football.
Williams, the carry on first down, gets a little bit of an extra push out near the 50-yard line. And for Xaverian, they're a team as well playing with heavy hearts. And there you see on their helmets the letters JW. That's for Jennifer West. Really sad story. 39-year-old teacher. She was pregnant as well. She died unexpectedly earlier this month, survived by her husband Sam, her 6-year-old son Jeremiah Robert. So our thoughts and prayers as well go out to the West family and the Clipper Nation. And this is a game that this Xaverian team dedicated to her memory.
You know, football is a wonderful thing, a lot of fun, but so many more important things out there that are motivating these guys today.
Martinez, we haven't really seen his legs too often this afternoon. We knew that he was a dual threat guy, had 17 carries for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns this year, and that was the first time really that he was forced out of the pocket. Pat, you see it again, and there he goes.
Nice job right there using the pump fake to bait the defenders downfield, get to the sticks, and yet again I'm sitting here as the clock is about to tick past 6 minutes, and Holy Cross still going into their huddle, taking far too much time in between snaps as they got to make up a 2-touchdown deficit right here.
You're getting to the point where if you do get in the end zone, you're going to have to onside kick it. It's the clock not their friend right now. High snap. Martinez recovers it well. Cadat chasing him down. Cadat the sack!
What a play right there by Cadat. He's just going to do a speed rush around Luca Collado right there. And the 6'4" senior showing off that athleticism. Big-time basketball player, too. He's going to dive. And usually a 240-pounder is going to be outrun by the likes of Madden Martinez. But right there, big number 99, not letting him get away for his second sack of the afternoon.
5 sacks on the year now for Jaden Cadat, 6'4", 240. Clyde Chapman, the basketball coach, like, when can I get the big man back?
You got to imagine he'll be owning the glass in Queens for the Knights this basketball season.
2nd and 18 from the 15, or from the 50, excuse me, and a flag was thrown.
Right there.
Pass interference, it would appear, defensively on Aiken.
Yeah, Brendan Gorola does a really nice job.
Ron Winchester, if we get a look at this again, and here it is pass interference against the defense.
Gorola is going to come open on that slant.
And again, I think just a shade early.
It's so hard. It's a bang-bang play right there for a defender. But this time around, going to be a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, now or never for Holy Cross.
Clock sitting below 5 minutes right now. And
4:53 to be exact. You've got the ball on the 34-yard line. If you've got that big play in you, let's take it out of the bag now.
Time to go deep into the playbook if you're Tim Smith. A trick play, something to allow you to drive the ball downfield.
Martinez does air it out, looking for Williams deep. McGinnis is on him. And McGinnis, a guy, we did the call last year. McGinnis, a difficult game against Holy Cross this year, also a difficult game in the championship game a year ago. So an opportunity. We talked about these different storylines, redemption, a chance for McGinnis as well.
Yeah, got to feel so sweet for the senior from Queens. He's really been a great leader throughout his entire career with Xaverian, and didn't love how everything went last year. Didn't love the regular season matchup against Holy Cross, but number 7 out there playing his very best football here today.
That being said, in the semifinals, he was one of the heroes a year ago, right? A couple of picks against Holy Cross to help Xaverian get to the championship game.
Yeah, beyond that, he's also the brains of that secondary for Xaverian. He's making sure that everybody's in the right spot at the right time. We haven't seen Holy Cross with any big hitters deep, and that's in large part because of number 7, getting everybody on the same page and making sure that they're containing this Holy Cross offense.
3rd and 2 for Holy Cross. 4:46 left in the fourth quarter. Martinez checks to the sideline. It's Tim Smith and Sharif Legree sharing the offensive duties. It's a draw. Williams bounces off the first contact. Antoine Williams into the secondary, and he's forced out of bounds, dragging Richie Aiken with him to the 20-yard line.
Got to love the patience here for Antoine Williams. Running the dive, sees nothing out in front of him. Able to bounce off a couple would-be tacklers and get out into the open field. What a huge play to set up this Holy Cross offense.
Well, it's red zone time now for Holy Cross. And you go all the way back, I want to say first quarter. They had 1st and goal from the 5. They weren't able to punch it in. Now a chance to do just that and perhaps half your deficit here. Martinez goes end zone. McMahon knocked down.
Really nice play there in the secondary for Xaverian. Braden McMahon thought that he was going to have a chance for 6 right here, but broken up right there. And you can't beat that timing getting to the ball. We saw them get there a little bit early on a pass interference earlier in this drive, but that time around, textbook defense by the Clippers.
2nd and 10 for Holy Cross from the 20-yard line. Martinez finds his target, and it's Williams to get out of bounds at the 15.
I love them driving the ball to the sidelines in this juncture in the game. Can't afford to let 30 seconds drain off the clock in between every snap.
Well, he did get out of bounds, so that at least stops the clock for the Knights.
So now it's about 15 yards to go. Absolutely crucial to punch this one in here for Holy Cross and then probably set up an onside kick if you hope to fight your way back into this one.
3rd and 5 from the 15-yard line. Martinez airs it out. Williams in the end zone, and that is incomplete. Holy Cross fans this time wanted a flag. None given. Peter Nacera on the coverage.
Yeah, it's a really nice job by Peter Nacera, and I like our officiating crew letting these guys play. There's always going to be some physicality downfield, but right there, that, in my book, was a clean play by number 12, Nocera.
Well, here we go. Sharif Legree, terrific football player in his day as well. And Tim Smith, what are they going to have dialed up here on 4th and 5? And again, you don't have to go end zone. You can move the chains. The clock will stop as the chains move as well. But you need at least 5 yards if you're Holy Cross.
And Dylan keeping with the theme all day. I think there's only 2 numbers you're dialing up here. One's 22 and the other's 10. So we'll see maybe a quick hitting slant to Braden McMahon or something over the middle to Antoine Williams. Let your junior running back try and get you another set of downs.
Well, Holy Cross will have an additional conversation. We'll take a break with them as well. You're watching the AA2 championship game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's premier high school sports network.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Back out here at Mitchell Field Athletic Complex. Huge fourth down coming up for Holy Cross.
So you mentioned it, right? Like, conventional wisdom would be like, we're giving it to Williams or McMahon. Now, do you go Riverboat Gambler and you go to a third option that maybe Xaverian isn't expecting, or do you go to your bread and butter?
I believe in crucial situations like this, you got to live and die by your best players. I can live with myself as, Coach Smith, if Antoine Williams is going to fall a little short here, if Braden McMahon is going to come up a little bit short here. I think you go with what got you to this championship Saturday, and you see if these guys can get one more big conversion.
Here we go. 4th and 5 from the 15-yard line. Martinez over the middle. Complete to the 1. And I don't think Williams got in.
Antoine Williams just a yard short. He did.
The late call on the touchdown, Antoine Williams.
What a huge play right here by the junior running back. I said you want to go back to the well with your best player all year long. Right there, number 22 makes the catch in traffic and able to muscle it over the goal line for the touchdown.
And how about Williams? He catches it at the 5, spins, continues to go. McGinnis had him wrapped, but Williams pushed forward.
Just had that fight right there. And, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Antoine Williams lost his father earlier this year, playing absolutely motivated.
And now the Knights
gotta feel good.
Will go for 2.
Interesting decision right here.
High snap, Martinez, the quick out, trying a one-handed grab. Incomplete. There is a flag, though, on the play. Williams unable to grab, but let's see what the flag is. Xaverian getting off the field right away. They think it's on the offense.
Yeah, Madden Martinez had Williams open right there, just a little bit further out in front of him than he would have liked.
And it was against the offense. So now with 4:03 left, interesting decision here as well, right? Do you kick it off? Do you hope for something defensively? Or do you go onside right away?
Dylan, I think the big, variable here that you're looking at is the wind. The wind going so strong at your back really leads me to think that if I'm Tim Smith, I want to kick this one deep. I want to see if my defense can get off the field and force Xaverian to punt it to us one more time with the wind in their face. Still got a couple timeouts. So it's certainly an opportunity here. Not a ton of time to play around, but if your defense can get a 3 and out, I'd much rather take my chances right there, getting the ball at the 50, 45-yard line or so, and seeing if we can pull out a miracle.
Kyle Toppin had his hand on the ball there. It'll be Williams as the ball goes off the tee yet again.
And just underscores this weather today, this wind is no joke, an absolutely huge factor. And now at the back of Holy Cross.
And actually look at that. It was Williams to hold. Toppin with the kick. Fielded at about the 11-yard line. And that's Aiken. Richie Aiken to the sideline. What a return for Richie Aiken.
What a play right there by Aiken, and just absolutely what you could not afford on the Holy Cross sideline. You're hoping to pin him deep. Instead, Xaverian is able to flip the field and dealing with just 22 yards to go to punch this one in and put their AA2 championship on ice.
Richie Aiken caused some confusion in the booth with the number 20. But make no mistake, man, there's been no confusing his impact on this game.
Really, really impressive day by Richie Aiken. And just want to remind everybody at home, he's only a sophomore, so really bright future for the talented runner.
And now an excellent opportunity, Xaverian. I think you get conservative here, though. Like, I don't think you need to try to, the end zone's only 23 yards out. You'd love maybe another score. But I think this is where you push this football, and that's exactly what they're going to do. That's Brandon Solomon. Smart move by Solomon as well, right, to cut it back inside. He was going towards the sideline, made sure he cut it back in to keep that clock going.
Yeah, all about bleeding clock at this point in the game for this Xaverian O. And if they're able to manage things properly, one more first down likely puts them in a position to go into victory formation.
Xaverian, there's 2 championships in their history. One in Class A. That was in 2015, now known as the AA2. That was when they beat Spelman 31-12. Their first championship came back in 2006 on the AA level when they beat Fordham Prep 49-27. Another handoff. It was Solomon again. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play, but again, it's the clock that's more important for Xaverian right now. They did make the final just last year, a game we had on the Varsity Media Sports Network, losing to Mount St. Michael 34-3.
Yeah, what a great comeback story if the Clippers are ultimately able to close this one out. Looking at a 3rd and 11, I'd expect them to keep the ball on the ground, but interesting thing here is you got the wind in your face, so probably wouldn't want to opt for a field goal. This is likely 4-down territory for the Clippers offense.
Yeah, good shout by you on that. Terrence Watson, the QB. There goes Aiken. He's got to cut it inside. Smart play by Aiken as the clock continues to wind. Interesting, right? We didn't mention it on the broadcast as Holy Cross will take one of their timeouts. Number 5 for Xaverian, the QB, Terrence Watson. When he transferred out of Hudson Catholic, this is a kid from East Flatbush, right? Was going to Jersey every day. When that was time for a change, it was a decision. And it was Xaverian or Holy Cross for Watson. He chose Xaverian.
Yeah, the way that things have played out today, you got to feel like Terrence Watson is going to go home happy with the choice that he made this offseason. But, yeah, wild that it came down to those 2 schools. Wonder how things might have played out differently if he was wearing the green and gold. But he's just done a really good job of being efficient, managing this offense, limiting the mistakes. He had an early interception, but since then, playing a really clean football game. You got to give your hats off to the junior who stepped up in a big way in this AA2 championship game.
Yeah, Watson last year was on the JV, brought up to varsity late in the season. And Kevin Fontaine, his head coach, a great kid, great family, really happy that he's here. Strong student, just gets better and better each week. Ran the ball really well against Mount last week in the semifinals. Getting a lot more comfortable in his surroundings, with his team, with this offense that he's in charge of. So it is a 4th and 9 for the Clippers. Conti in motion. Handoff to Aiken, comes back this way. Good pursuit. And a big tackle by Brandon Glowden. So a turnover on downs. But more importantly for Xaverian is, listen, yes, you turn the ball over, but you do so inside the 30-yard line, and there's a minute 53 left for Holy Cross.
Yeah, there's a Holy Cross offense that has struggled to get anything done in chunks all day today. So going to be really important for this defensive secondary led by Finbar McGinnis to be properly set, keep everything in front of them, and avoid any huge plays over the top for Holy Cross. You can live with anything over the middle that's in front of you.
Twin receivers on either side for Martinez. Time to run that 2-minute offense. There's Williams spinning at about the 32-yard line, and now you've got to hurry up. No time to huddle anymore for Holy Cross.
Yeah, no timeouts left for Holy Cross either, so they're going to really want to either drive things to the sideline or downfield. You cannot win this game on 5-yard completions over the middle.
Martinez looks at a sideline, and that was nearly ball game as Conti was the closest to that.
It's a tough ask right here for the sophomore quarterback Martinez. Try and drive down here and steal one away from Xaverian. Not going to be easy, and looking at a 3rd and 6 here.
Holy Cross, their first championship game appearance in 20 years. For Xaverian, it's been 12 months. 3rd and 6 for the Knights. Pressure comes, and that is incomplete. Xaverian clearly putting some extra numbers into the secondary, knowing that Martinez has to pass. And it's now final down time for Holy Cross. The Xaverian fans trying to implore that far sideline to get loud. It's a long trip from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, to Mitchell Athletic Complex in Uniondale.
Yeah, the Clipper faithful happy they made the trip. Their boys have put on a show all afternoon, and a minute 19 away from sealing a victory and avenging their loss last year. It left such a bad taste in the mouths of so many of these seniors last time they were in the AA2 championship game.
4th and 6 from the 31-yard line. Trips right, Martinez under pressure, flushed out, and he's sacked!
What a play right there by this Xaverian D. It's been a whole host of guys along that defensive front.
Mateo Parada with the sack.
Mateo Parada, you might have heard his name on the offensive side of the ball all day long, right there, making his presence felt on D to put this one on ice.
And now Parada will flip the field, and he'll get that ball. Big 74. You saw him there a second ago. 2-year starter. Listen, when the guy who loves football, who loves playing center, gets the game-sealing sack, man, you feel really good for Big 74.
It's so special. You know this guy's been working for years to get to this point. He's only a junior, so still a bright future out in front of him. But got to feel really good. He was around last year, walking off the field at Fordham University after a loss to Mount St. Michael. Here a year later, they're going to know what it feels like to hoist that championship trophy.
And the Clippers in victory formation. They take the knee on 1st down. And now they're going to get the Gatorade bath set for Kevin Fontaine. This is going to be a cold one for the long-time football lifer. But no doubt it's going to feel really good as well for Kevin Fontaine.
Yeah, Xaverian, this whole staff, as we said, is some of the very best coaching that you can find in Brooklyn.
Yeah, let's shout those guys out, right? Mike Hammerdice is Fontaine's offensive line coach, the legend out of Canarsie. Maurice Jones, of course, a former Poly assistant. He's the OC. Leon Williams, what a stud in his day, playing at Canarsie at the U as well. And Tom Leahy as well, the defensive D-backs, the specialist, and Damaludo back from Lincoln High School. Here's your wide receivers coach.
Yeah, these guys have a ton of fun coaching together, and nothing more fun than ring season. They can enjoy their Thanksgiving turkey next week knowing that they've gotten all of their goals for this year accomplished. Face some adversity playing some bigger schools throughout the course of the regular season, but here into the playoff run, really dialed it in, and they're going to emerge victorious in the AA2 bracket.
Yeah, they will improve to 6-6 on the season, a defense that only allowed 19 points a game, only giving up 6 in this title game. And Jaden Cadott led the boys up front, just a beast on the edge, really set the tone there, as there is the final kneel down, and Xaverian, they are your AA2 champions. Congratulations to the Clippers, their 3rd Catholic championship in their history. and the first since 2015.
So impressive, just the character of this team to respond after last year. You know, nothing feels good about losing 34-3 in your last game of the season in a title game. But here they come back to Mitchell Athletic Complex, and they're going to walk away victorious over a really gritty Holy Cross team that has every right to be proud of what they're able to accomplish as well this year. Made a valiant run at their first championship in 20 years, and even though Tim Smith's team falls just short, they've got a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, Holy Cross, they end their season at 6-6, the first championship game appearance in 20 years. So even though it didn't go their way, you know, this is now the beginning point for next year, right? Get back here. They want to build it back to a AAA team. It's going to take some construction, and it starts with getting back to the championship game a year from now for Holy Cross.
And one thing that has to be so encouraging for Knights fans everywhere is just the fact that there's so much youth on this team. A lot of guys who are going to be back next year are going to remember the way that this feels right now. I know it stings if you're a Holy Cross Knight, but guess what? Xaverian set the mold for you last year. You can lose this game, come back, and use that as fuel for the offseason on the way to a title game. So I'm sure that's going to be the message for Tim Smith going into the locker room after this one. But for right now, it's all about Xaverian, all about the Clippers' accomplishment, and got to feel great for the folks from Brooklyn.
So wrapping up here from the AA2 championship game, congratulations to the Clippers from Xaverian. Hey, they were on a revenge tour this postseason, right? They got that monkey off their back, the exercising demons against the Mount St. Michael team that beat them in this game a year ago. And then they avenged what was their worst loss of the regular season, beating Holy Cross and again lifting the AA2 championship this year. What an end of season for the Clippers from Xaverian.
Got to feel great. It was led up front by Xaverian, a whole host of guys, namely Jaden Cadat, who had a couple sacks out here today, really made their impact felt, but got to be awesome for these guys. Worked so hard all offseason to be able to go into Thanksgiving feeling great, having accomplished all their goals. And boys, congratulations. Time to get you one of these.
Maybe not exactly that one.
Maybe not this size, but a good one.
It's perhaps similar. Of course, we're not done yet, right? We've got a big game coming up as well. 2 o'clock kickoff. It's the AAA championship game. It'll be presented by Maspeth Federal Savings, St. Anthony's, Iona Prep, top 2 seeds in the AAA. Hey, the Gales are already on the field. They're getting their specials taken care of and getting ready for the start of this one. That's going to be a terrific game. Kickoff again will be at 2 o'clock. But that'll do it here from the AA2 championship game. Congratulations again to Xaverian. The Clippers are your champs. I want to thank our entire Varsity Media crew, our executive producer, Ben Turchin, our technical director, Becca Kazaks, Tony Damaso, and Ron Pierre bringing you all those great moving images from my broadcast partner, Pat Godfrey. That's what it's all about, Pat. Lifting up that trophy, winning it. The Clippers from Xaverian are your Catholic League AA2 champions.